You're welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 65 of the Collectin and Connectin podcast. I am super excited today. We have a power couple in Top Shot. I'm very excited. See, I love it. Like, where's my? She's not. She's somewhere else. Princess Haley has disappeared somewhere. I'm just gonna go into it. I'm KingBrett. You know me. Aziz and Frankie, welcome to the episode. We're so pumped to have you. How are you?
Thank you. Good. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. My second time, Frankie's first time on the show. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
I love it. And Frankie, I love it. You sent your bodyguard on first to make sure everything was cool. And since
it out, make sure I'm safe.
Right, now you can join me on the call.
Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal. So I guess let's just jump into it. Like, first of all, tell me who's the person that found Top Shot? And then how did that go when you were explaining it to Frankie? I assume it was you because she pointed right at you.
Yeah. I found it back in late 2020. Was watching a CNBC YouTube article about sports card collecting, and then I typed that into Google, and then the first thing that came up at that time was Top Shot, and then I explored it, and I was like, hey, I want to collect my favorite players, and kind of play that NBA player stock market game, so to speak. And so I, had to explain the concept to Frankie. I think, maybe even now she might not totally understand the concept.
No, I get it. But initially I was definitely like, what?
Yeah, like, why
what are you talking about?
Yeah. By the way, Frankie, that was me too when my friend Three Ball explained it too. So you're not alone.
I think once we joined some events like in Portland and Summer League and things like that, she was like, okay, this is real. He's not just sitting by himself in his office, looking stuff up.
So when you say Portland, I'm just gonna ask, what's y'all's team? Do y'all have the same team? Or one of you, come on, Frankie, a Mavs fan? Just wondering.
No, I'm not a Mavs. I'm not a Mavs fan. I don't hate them.
I like you even more.
I have nothing against them, but Raptors is my number one team.
Okay, the Raptors, and same for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and then
we're Canadian. We're in Vancouver, Canada.
Il n'est pas je ne sont cause mais il n'est pas bon du tout.
Come on call.
I would like to eat some poutine.
Oh.
She knows French. I don't know
I speak French. I went to a French elementary school. So.
Oh, no way, dude.
It was French immersion, yeah.
That's awesome. So I'm going to ask, and this isn't about basketball, because here in the States, like, most people speak English, so they go to an immersion school to learn a different language.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing learning French? Do most people speak English coming in, or do they speak a different dialect of?
No. So in Eastern Canada, like Ontario eastward, most people speak both French and English. But being bilingual is a lot more common.
Sure.
However, everything west, it's not as common at all.
Oh.
So where I grew up, my mom just wanted my sister and I to go to a French immersion school to learn French. So we both went to French immersion elementary. My sister ended up going to French immersion junior high and high school, but then I went to Catholic school from grade 8 onwards. That was not French immersion. So from grade 7, I went straight into French 10, and then I did French. And so I graduated French when I was in grade 10.
Essentially, you're brilliant, is what I'm finding out. Frankie's the smartest woman I've ever met.
No.
Now, what languages do you speak, sir?
So I speak Farsi, or Persian. I can't read or write, but conversationally I speak it because that's where I'm from. My parents are from, although I moved here when I was a baby. But yeah, I did take French class. Exactly, I took French class, but I wasn't in immersion, and I promptly have forgotten everything. But yeah, it's interesting in Canada. Like, if you want to run for federal office, you have to be bilingual because you're representing one of the provinces is Quebec speaking, right? So I guess if I ever run, I'll have to.
I think I know someone that can hook you up. She's really awesome. She's the smartest woman that I know.
Or do that, I guess, Duolingo app or whatever you can learn. I've been learning about that.
Dude, so low-key in Texas, right? Spanish is what everyone needs to learn. I'm on day 40 of Duolingo Spanish. 40 days in a row.
And how's that going?
Yeah.
Donde está la biblioteca?
Derecho, right there, straight.
Oh, nice.
Literally, the library is right there.
That's literally the only sentence in Spanish I know.
Oh, uno más cerveza, por favor, señorita.
I know that too. Yeah.
Okay. See, we're pretty much trilingual then.
Basically.
I know dame un besito, por favor.
Let's go.
I know the important line.
History of C&C. That is the first on-air kiss ever.
Wow. That's as far as it's going to go.
Tried, but I keep running from them. I don't. It's kind of cool, but that is awesome. So, Raptors diehards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other team that, like, if you had to pick a second team, what would the other team that, like, yeah, I kind of like? Who's that team for y'all?
I think we have to choose the Portland Trailblazers because being in Vancouver, Canada, the closest NBA arena is the Blazers. So,
yeah,
we kind of every year we try to pick a game, obviously, if the Raptors are there. But yeah, like last year we went to the Raptors, but also the Rockets the night before. So, awesome. We got a so I'm a hockey fan, first and foremost. And in hockey, it's like you have to be loyal to one team. So some of my friends like make fun of you. Yeah. Well, no. We beat you guys. The Edmonton Oilers beat them this playoffs.
Yeah. No, I know. I watched all of it. I was at one of them. It was horrible. That's funny. Frankie, were you a hockey fan at all, or have you always been a basketball fan, or what's?
So I've always been a basketball fan.
Okay.
Growing up, I used to run track and field, so that's like my number one sport. And then basketball was always my second sport. Playing it as well as watching it. My favorite time of year is March Madness. It just brings me so much joy.
Yeah.
And then I watched a lot of NBA growing up, and then there was a period of time probably in my probably throughout my 20s where I did not watch any NBA. And then I really started watching it again when I started dating him. As for hockey, because we live in Vancouver, the Canucks are our team here.
Sure,
and I would go to like a game, 1 or 2 games a season, but I wasn't like dedicated to the Canucks.
Yeah.
And then when I got with Aziz here, he made me into an Oilers fan. So now I'm an Oilers girly. Yeah.
Oh.
I really had no choice.
But you used to attend Vancouver Grizzlies games.
I did used to go to Vancouver Grizzlies games. Those were my favorite.
So
I saw Pacers play.
Wow.
And I never saw Chicago, unfortunately.
Jordan.
So I never saw Jordan.
It would have been awesome to see him for sure.
Yeah. My sister was actually at the very first game the Grizzlies ever won. They were playing the Portland Trailblazers. And they won the very last minute. So a whole bunch of people had left the arena, but my sister and her friends stayed. And they saw them win.
That is so epic. I'm a big fan of staying to the end because I'm a believer anything can happen.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
We've been too many times in history that your team could be up by 10 with 2 minutes left. It doesn't mean you're going to win.
Nope. There's so much time left.
So I know it's like an eternity. That's why people always joke, tune into the last 10 minutes of a basketball game, and it's pretty much an hour. And it's all you need to really know because the emotional highs and lows of the whole game don't matter at all. It's just the last couple minutes.
Even sometimes the last 5 minutes, really.
Yeah, for sure. That's so interesting. So my stepdad played professional hockey in Canada, got signed when he was a young kid, and then grew up, and he literally played pro hockey. And when he was young, he got recruited to go play at Cornell. So he came to the States, and he played all 4 years at Cornell, and then played professional hockey here in the States. Nice. And his dream was to go back and play in Canada, and he never was able to. He played for the Blackhawks back in the day. He played for a couple teams down here. So I've been a huge hockey fan my whole life. I grew up next to the Dallas Stars goalie Andy Moog. Dated his daughter at one point. Was
wow.
We don't talk about that a lot. Nicest guy ever. He got me into roller hockey, and I was a goalie and played roller hockey and always been a huge hockey fan.
There was a professional roller hockey league.
I love that
back in the mid-90s.
Yes, I do know that.
It was a team in Vancouver, the Vancouver Voodoo. And I actually went to their very first game.
No way.
I like made it on the news, and the next day I had a track.
Of course you did.
So people were like, "We saw you at the Vancouver Voodoo game."
You're kind of a big deal. I'm all over television.
And their jerseys were so good. They were so 90s. They're like fluorescent purple, orange, and white.
I love it.
Oh, they're.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, really?
You're welcome.
I'm learning about my wife here today.
Yeah,
I think it was like 93, 90.
We started with a kiss, and who knows where we'll end up, you know?
Wow.
So let's talk about this, Mr. and Mrs. Power Couple, because not only do y'all super unique and interesting in your own rights, but I could be wrong off on the number, but like there's a thing called NBA Summer League. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people go there. Have y'all, I feel like y'all been like, I don't know, 50,000 times. What is it? 7 or 8 times the Summer League? Is that right?
It's 8. It would be 9 if 2020 hadn't been canceled.
And we don't talk about that. We just round up.
Exactly.
So 9 in a row.
So 9 in a row. So that is super epic. I've been trying to get my wife now to go. We've had a conversation, but did y'all just like make a conscious decision to like, hey, this is something we want to do every year and something we both love, and you just started, or like how'd that come about?
Yeah, I think you found out through.
So I was I'm into fantasy basketball, right? And then actually what caught my eye about Summer League was Damian Lillard like ripped out Summer League. I think he was like the 5th pick in the draft. And, you know, I think I had a higher pick and I was like, okay, I'm hearing he's ripping it up. Maybe I should, you know, pick him. And so I was like, what is this Summer League? Kind of paid attention to it a bit after that every year. Like,
well, you started out like using it to scout your fantasy basketball lineup.
Exactly. I mean, and that's what I'm still doing right now.
Frankie's like, yeah, you did.
Yeah, and I'm still doing that now. So then actually every year like we've been together, we've gone to Summer League. So now it's our family tradition.
Oh my gosh, so
and
cool.
So yeah, we looked into it, and you know, when you say Vegas to, you know, most gals, they're down to go, and she was into it, and we just at the time especially it was even cheaper. It was like $25 for the day, and once we learned more about like how many games we're on and stuff, and we like to, you know, eat out and things, and we're foodies, and of course Vegas is a great place for that. And then like getting to see shows, go to the pool, and we thought it was like a no-brainer to try to check it out. So we checked it out, and what was the first year? 2016, and then we just fell in love with like the experience. We only go for like 3-4 days. It's a quick trip. Obviously Vegas, you know, you can't really see, you don't want to go too long.
That's a life lesson. Don't ever go to Vegas for more than 3 or 4 days.
Exactly.
3 or 4 days is everything you need in Vegas.
Exactly.
Right now.
Especially because of the heat, right? And so yeah, we did that, and we had a good time, and then we just wanted to go every year after that, and we've been going, and every year like the memories are there, and like yeah, I'm super lucky because you know, Frances is into it, and it's not like she loves basketball herself. Like she's not going to like appease me or anything like that. Like, and she's got deep cuts. Like I want to see like the top 5, top 10 picks, right? But then like this Summer League, she was like, oh, I really want to see Adam Bona, and I want to see what's his name? DJ Burns, and like all these undrafted guys.
Frankie, I love it.
Sorry, say it again.
I said you got like your own people that you're excited to go see and watch.
I do, because like I was telling you, I love watching March Madness.
Yeah.
So I make a list. It's like basketball players for every year.
That is awesome.
I make a huge list of it, and then I like when the draft happens, I like mark their names down. I put like where they got drafted to, or if they're undrafted, whatever.
Right.
And then when Summer League comes around, as soon as we get to the stadium that first day, I grab the program and I go through it. I'm like, okay, so we gotta see this person. We gotta go see this. We gotta go see this.
I love it.
I have the people that I want to go see.
Yeah.
Drew
Timmy was like
Kyle Guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's exciting, and it's cool too because when you're excited like you are, especially about like March Madness and catching the end of a lot of these players' college careers, it helps translate into you're excited about seeing them in the NBA and rookies and what they end up doing. And having your favorite player, and that's super cool.
And like this year, just to give you an idea of like how hardcore she is and we are, we went to Summer League one of the days for like 7 hours. Like we were there all day, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, like go do it. Immerse yourself in the experience.
Yeah, exactly. There's no point if you're going to go all the way to Vegas to go watch basketball and go watch basketball.
Yeah, don't sleep in your hotel room
Like,
and then wake up at like afternoon and then I missed it all. Like
and honestly, the games don't start till 1 o'clock anyway, so you can have your little sleep in, you can go for your nice brunch, and if the teams you want to see aren't even playing till later, then that's fine too. But
we do try to limit it to like 4 hours, just because like it gets pretty tiring sitting in those hard chairs and things like that. But I guess this draft is a little
Frankie, I don't know you that well, but I'm pretty sure you would stay all day, every day, like if that was the option.
No.
Are you both like, all right, let's get out of here?
The seats can get like they really hurt my hip and my lower back by hour 4. But then I just get up and I do a little walk around and come back. So it's okay.
After 8 years, you should have like a whole throne, like with your name engraved. Or like
I know, right?
We should look at those stadium seats. You know, the ones like the folding ones that just like
that'd be epic.
Do that. I thought about that right now.
Yeah. See, we keep evolving in our summer league.
I'm sure the food places every year has evolved, and then you take some off and you have like your must-eat places every single time, right?
Yeah, well, we become more and more about summer league. Like we don't even like this last time. We don't even stay on the strip. Only reason we went to the strip, which we could talk about, is we went to the USA versus Canada, exhibition ahead of the Olympics. Which was,
I'm sorry, that must have been horrible for y'all.
Yeah,
it was.
So we went to the
Canada and the
wild. It was so good.
Horrible. That is awesome too. We got to talk about that. Keep going, but let's come back to that.
Yeah, for sure. And we just stayed like somewhere close to the arena, and we like to do DoorDash or whatever from the different food places, and of course go out for dinner as well. But we just become more business about summer league every year that goes by, because we always like talk about it. Some of our friends like eventually get convinced to join us, so then ends up being busy, and some of my friends, like from where I grew up in Edmonton, or one of my friends like in Saskatchewan, he's come out, and friends from Vancouver, and then some Top Shot people, obviously, right, like from LA and Boston and Calgary and all over Toronto. So it becomes like this meeting place for our friends as well. And we just love how can see so much basketball. It's like a true NBA like convention, and like you just walk in the halls, you see different coaches, managers, players courtside. There's players. Like, where else could you go that you get that experience for $60, right?
Like every day they have a player signing autographs or taking pictures somewhere. So like in 2019, we got to meet Pascal Siakam, which was awesome because we're huge Raptors fans. So they had just won the championships, and we got to meet him, and it was wonderful.
And he signed my T-shirt, and she was like, because he's from Cameroon, and her family's from Ghana, so she's like, I'm from Ghana. And he's like, oh, cool.
You're like, she's mine. Back off.
Yeah.
No, and actually, this year we went and we got a picture with Jaime Jaquez Jr. And she's got a little bit of a thing for him. And show him your fan.
So I have this fan I take everywhere with me.
Yes.
And I had it hanging across my chest on my my fanny pack. And Jaime saw it and he was like, oh, what is that? I was like, oh, it's a fan. And like he had been in there for probably a couple hours. He was done. He was hot. And I was like, let me show you. And I fanned him. And he was just delighted with it. And I was like, you're welcome.
Oh, yes.
Those are like the little things that can happen at Summer League, right? So
yeah. Well, that's what I literally been waiting to ask, because of 8 years of doing this. There have to be some highlights of either games you saw or players, and that's what I've heard, not being that sometimes you're literally just walking from point A to point B and you're walking right next to coaches and player. Like it can be crazy.
Yeah.
So do y'all have some of those other highlights?
I think I'll tell the game about the Zion year.
Yes.
That's what everybody refers to, where, Zion's first game, and there was one play where he like snatched the ball away and slammed it, and we were in the crowd, and when we came home, after we were watching the game, and we saw us in the crowd, and as soon as he dunked it, I was like this, but then the crazy thing that happened, there was an earthquake at that time.
Oh my goodness.
Then they stopped the game because the scoreboard was rocking back and forth.
Yep.
And the other thing too, that was, again, 2019 after the Raptors won, and the whole NBA was on pins and needles. What's going to happen with Kawhi?
Right.
And
yeah. It was
all these like Lakers fans were like chirping me like he's coming to the Lakers, and I'm like, no, he's staying home. And I was actually wearing my Kawhi Raptors jersey. And then that night after the earthquake, and they canceled that game, so that was just memorable. And then right as we were like leaving, it was announced that he's going to the Clippers. So it was like now there's an earthquake through the NBA that dropped.
Right, yeah, it's the continuation of the earthquake.
So that was like a memorable game for sure. Obviously Wemby last year was pretty crazy. Although anytime we watch him play, like we went to Brooklyn last year, and
I still want my money back.
He got one block that game, and then after that, he went on a string of like 20, 30 games where he got at least 5 blocks a game, and he like went off, and we were like, we saw the like nadir
the one game that he didn't go off.
Yeah, we went all the way to Brooklyn. See him do nothing. I was so mad.
Like barely, but that was a great trip because we saw Luka at the Garden as well.
Let's go. Yeah. And I'm sure hopefully you had some pizza?
We had some pizza. We had some very, very good pizza.
Okay. Sure.
And then we also got to go because, like I said, I love track and field. And every February they have an indoor track meet called the Melrose Games. And so we got to go up into Washington Heights. I got to go to the Melrose Games.
No way.
Because it's an Olympic year, we saw so many great athletes. And a lot of them that won at the Melrose Games won at the Olympics. So it was nice.
Mm-hmm. And that's cool seeing them at the Melrose Games and then connecting it years later at the Olympics.
Yeah.
So this year's got to be exciting because we just had the summer. Like the game, you were probably watching the TV nonstop every day.
Nonstop.
Binging.
Basketball and the track and field and everything else.
Like the track and field, like we literally watched everything. Like she needs to watch like the heats and the qualifiers and like everything.
Oh yeah, because that's how you know who really earned it, who's the underdog, who
exactly.
That makes total sense. I record it and then go back and watch it. But
for sure.
I like to fast forward.
But coming back to summer league stories, like I think Francis has a good Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, our Canadian basketball hero.
So this was 2018, maybe it was 2018. He had
his rookie
year.
Yeah,
we were leaving Thomas and Mack, and in front of the stadium. They have a big like roundabout circle where you catch your cabs.
Yeah.
And he was 2 people in front of me. And I was like, oh my God, there's Shai. So I was like, babe, get your camera ready. I'm going to take a picture with him. So
I was ready.
And he had his phone ready. And I grabbed his attention, like, Shai. And I'm like, can I get a picture with you? And he's like, oh, I got to catch my cab. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we awkwardly stood in line together for the next 2 minutes as he waited for a cab to pull up. And I was polite enough not to be like, you got time. And I was like, no, I'll just awkwardly stand here with you.
Right, yeah.
And then he laughed. And after that, I was like, I don't know if I like this kid. I don't know, babe.
Oh my
I don't know. And then 2 years later, we're at Summer League and we're in the smaller gym, the Cox Pavilion, and we see him across the gym from us. And
his pants, jeans.
And he's wearing these jeans that were
particular.
just like very shiny and like shaved and stuff. Anyways. And so after that game, we're leaving the Cox Pavilion, and I see him about like.
No, I was like, watch, we're gonna see him outside. I was like, watch, we're gonna see him outside.
Like last time.
And he's gonna snub you again. And I do like these little videos for my Instagram stories, and I'm like in there, I'm like, there's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Wow, look at those pants. I'm like, will he snub Francis once again?
And he tried it. I got his attention and I was like, hi, can I get a picture with you? And he was like, oh, I got to catch my car. I'm like, you have time. And so I basically forced him to take a picture.
Oh my gosh.
And it was wonderful. Great. And then I told him, oh, I'm Canadian. And then I also said, and my sister went to University of Kentucky. And he was like, oh, and it really softened him up. And so
you're like, and 2 years ago, you said the same thing, and I'm not letting it slide this year.
I didn't hold it against him, but I was very close to saying it. I was very close. And so we took this kind of picture, like where he's not no arm around me or anything. He's just leaning in and I'm leaning in. And it was great.
But the lighting was perfect. Like the sun was setting and it was like orange sky. Like it was a nice
It was
photo.
Beautiful.
That
and then later I'm walking through the concourse and then I see Nikhil his
Alexander
cousin.
Walker.
And I was like, hi, Nikhil, can I get a picture? He's like, yeah, sure. Puts his arm around me. I'm like, I almost said, you're so much nicer than your cousin.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, if you brought it up, I was gonna ask.
But he was very, very kind, and I did not bring it up. No.
It's a very warm. I guess Shea is, bigger time. Maybe
that's true.
why.
That's true. But he was just crafted, reasonably.
But even after she got the actual photo, I was like, okay, now bygones be bygones. Like we can cheer for him, root for him again. And she was just like, no, I still hold a grudge. He could have gotten that photo. But then I think
I love him now, but I'm still salty about that first.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta catch my cab.
And encounter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in his defense, like at the second time, like once we got the photo, then all these kids ran up to him, and like he got held back. So
because young kids, they're not as smart as us, and they don't recognize people like we do.
Exactly.
They wait for us to like figure it out, and they're like, oh yeah, they're famous. Like
actually, no, at Summer League, there are like these roving like gangs of children.
Yes.
And they all have like basketballs, like their programs and their pens out. And if they like one of them will see someone famous and they'll all run to them. And then like during the games, there's always like big time players like sitting on the side watching their team, and the kids will just like hang over the banisters and be sign. It's actually quite exciting to watch. Because they're really excited.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
That's, to be fair, if I was a kid, I probably
I would do the same thing.
The same thing. Like it's,
But yeah, there's been some funny moments too. Like last year, we were watching the baby race. Every year there's a baby race at Summer League.
It's so cute.
And this one was like drawn out. The babies were just sitting there for the longest time. But then obviously one of them won. And then as we were leaving, once again the baby with their family was there, and we got a photo. So we're just like, wow, baby.
The baby didn't try to snub you.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. No, they were like, oh, you want to get a photo with us? And they had like this huge teddy bear with them and stuff.
You're like, yes, I actually do. Can you also sign this, please?
Yeah.
With your baby
exactly.
hand?
Put a pen in the baby's hand. So
that's.
But yeah, it's like where else are you gonna get those experiences, right? And then just like thinking back, like we saw, not that I disdain the Celtics personally, but Boston sports teams in general. But we saw Tatum and Jaylen Brown like when they were young, like multiple. Jaylen Brown was like played like 3 years, I think. So it's kind of cool to be like, wow, we saw them at Summer League up close and personal, and then they're in the NBA Finals winning the championship. Like had we gone early enough, we could have seen LeBron, Steph Curry, all these guys. And their slogan is the stars of tomorrow today. So we kind of pump that slogan, and it's true. So, and actually, this year another cool thing. Although this was the USA basketball, USA Canada basketball.
Yeah, I've been
we were walking out. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, you even mentioned some of the players. I've been waiting to ask you about it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that's cool for me is like Francis went to the washroom and I was just standing there waiting, and then I saw Nick Nurse walking by. So I ran up to him and I'm like, hey, can I have a photo? And I was like, thank you so much for the 2019 championship. And then as we were all walking out, we were walking to like Cosmopolitan. And then we saw Masai Ujiri as well. And then what happened with Masai?
Oh, I just got a picture. I was like, oh my God, Masai. And then he kind of mocked me for being so surprised. And then he like,
well, what did he say? What did he do?
So I was like, oh, Masai. He went, oh.
Awesome.
And then I got a picture with him, and he was actually really nice. He was quite nice.
Yeah. And so, that game was amazing because we bought our tickets like well in advance, and it was like 100 Canadian, like for lower bowls, super cheap. And we heard that like just to get in the door, like at secondary, it was like 300 US, and so that was amazing. And then before the game, we were in the concourse, and I saw Reggie Miller walk by, and then I guess I trolled him a little bit, and I was like, "Go Canada!" And then he totally
scowled at you.
He scowled and totally brushed me off. But that was crazy because Obama came and he was sitting courtside, so I was like, "Holy cow, Obama's there!"
And they were also honoring like a lot of past USA basketball players, like Olympic basketball players.
Yeah.
So like Cheryl Miller was there, and Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, what's his name?
And that's why Reggie was there.
Yeah, Gary Payton was there. whole bunch of
Dwayne
a lot
Wade
of
or
greats.
I don't remember. Was Dwayne Wade? He probably was.
And then obviously the guys on the court, right? Like
Right.
when can you pay $100 and see Steph and LeBron and Ant and KD and all these and Shea and
I
Jamal
had
and all
never
these guys.
seen Steph play in person, so it was really exciting.
Yeah,
I had seen him.
I don't think I hadn't seen KD either, and then obviously, but yeah, it was great. It was wonderful.
But yeah, we got to actually see Steph in San Francisco, because I went in Oakland a couple times, and there's nothing like Steph Curry launching a three, and then the entire crowd there holds their breath, and then splash, and then they go crazy.
Yeah,
especially in that Oakland arena, it was quite the scene.
That was such a good place.
But yeah, we had seen LeBron. We went to the LA. Actually, right before the pandemic, we went to LA to watch LeBron versus Zion. And then actually, I ended up going to the Kobe Memorial, which was pretty sad. But then there, like MJ was there, like Kareem, like I was like blown away, because I'm like, there's like 10 people here who literally have statues outside. Like I've never, and I was like 95% of the top 50 players in NBA history are here. Like it was crazy,
and what a conflicting feeling, right? Because you're there to pay tribute and honor of Kobe, but it's also like all the people you've wanted to meet your whole entire life are also there, but they're not in an autograph signing mood per se. So
exactly. And it was interesting because like afterwards we were like going for dinner, and people were like, "Oh, how are you enjoying?" And I to be honest, I was like kind of excited that I was seeing all these people, but LA is depressed at the time over and it's just so sad with Gigi as well passing. But I was like trying to curb my enthusiasm for seeing all those stars, but it was like pretty cool to see everybody. But anyways, that's a little tangential on the summer league story.
No, I mean it's so crazy. And obviously y'all are rooting for USA in the USA Canada game.
No, boo USA, boo
USA.
I'm not gonna for real. I love catchy things like that in arenas. So even though it's against USA, which I'm diehard, that's where I'm from. It's awesome. If I was Canadian, I'd be yelling it at the top of my lungs. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, I know we've talked a lot about NBA and a lot about Summer League, but you also watch WNBA?
Yeah, so I think a few years ago we went, Summer League usually starts the Friday, and so we went on the Wednesday a little bit earlier, and we went to our first WNBA game, the Las Vegas Aces versus the New York Liberty, and we were blown away, because we hadn't been to a live game. We were just blown away by the skill level. They were just raining threes. And actually,
Sabrina, I asked you, I think it was her best game ever at the time.
It was the first 30-point triple-double in WNBA history.
It was spectacular.
And
her top shot, one of her top shot moments from that game, if you pause it and look to the right, you can see us.
Let's go. I brought it up for a reason. I know what I'm talking about. That's pretty epic. Not only to go to that game, but then for that to be in a moment.
So that's our Top Shot debut right there. I tweeted about it. I froze it.
I don't have one.
Circled it and posted.
Yeah, so I'd send it to Sabrina and be like, just so you know, here's our Top Shot debut moment together.
Exactly. We're actually going to go see the Liberty play Seattle Storm next Friday.
Oh, nice. Are you? Cool.
Yeah, I think this episode comes out later, but it's on August 30th. We're going to Seattle Storm. We really like the Nika Mule, the rookie for Seattle Storm. We love her energy. But Skylar Diggins-Smith, and then Brianna Stewart on the Liberty. John Kell Jones, although I think Sabrina might have a neck thing, so hopefully she's okay by then.
I think as of last night, she had missed 2 games in a row, so hopefully she'll be better by then. If she's not, hopefully she heals nicely.
Just ask Frankie; she's keeping up with the day-to-day injury reports.
Absolutely
on it.
Yeah, because we'd never been to a Seattle WNBA game yet, so we planned this trip like somewhat around that for the long weekend. So yeah, we're looking forward to it for sure.
And you're so right, because I grew up where the concept of WNBA was like, it's horrible basketball, don't ever watch it, just watch NBA, right? I'm just being honest. That's how I was always told growing up, and I never really watched it. But through Top Shot, I won tickets to the UA, Athletes Unlimited, or AU, and went and got to see a mashup of all these different ladies playing on different teams together. And I took one of my best buds, and they made more free throws than the Dallas Mavericks do. Like, they were shooting better than like half the NBA. And I was so surprised by the pace of the game. And it's also really cool because it's not, at least when I went, it wasn't as loud as, say, an NBA game. So like you could hear them talk. You could it was way more immersive for me. And we had amazing seats because the seats are a little bit cheaper, right? Mm-hmm. So just in case you're listening or watching this, take your kids, go to a WNBA game, take your wife, take your husband, like
take your whole family, go.
Yeah, take everyone. Bring
and if you don't live in a WNBA city, go to a college game if you have access to that too.
Let's go
to women's college games.
Yeah.
Like when we went to that first WNBA game, I was like so mad at myself for being like surprised at how good they were. Because as someone, like, I didn't play basketball further than like high school,
right?
But
you were too busy running.
Exactly, but playing in high school, like the competition was always very good, and you know, I played with girls on my teams that were amazing players,
right?
And that could like there was one girl on my team who could shoot who would shoot like 3-pointers, which is kind of unheard of, like back in when I was in high school. But Tawny could do it.
Ago,
and so I don't understand why I was like so surprised at how good they are. Like, of course, women's basketball is going to be amazing. It's always been amazing.
Yeah, it's just no one's ever like it's always been a focus of the NBA, right?
Exactly. And so so for people who are watching or listening, go to WNBA games. Take your whole family. If you have if you don't have access to a WNBA city, take them to a college game. Take them to a high school game.
I mean, just
go watch women's sports.
The last couple years, I'll say a name, right? Caitlin Clark has literally from a college athlete has, in my opinion, mainstreamed women's basketball again, because people watch, but like you never really saw the WNBA of anyone in the news unless it was something bad or Brittany Gaynor or whatever. Griner. But for real, like she came out with such a positive, and now it's like I see little girls wearing like jerseys walking around town of WNBA, the Dallas Wings that we have here. I've seen them a couple times now, and it's exciting. And it's like your year just expanded when basketball season's over. WNBA is still going on.
Exactly.
So it's like it gives you more to watch and more to celebrate. It's just such a great thing. And especially now tied in with Top Shot and Fast Break and the ability you have to use your moments and celebrate the WNBA and collect those ladies and collect your favorite team. It's not just the NBA stuff anymore, which is really cool.
Fast Break was such a good idea to like be able to like use your moments and like because initially when he told me initially about Top Shot, and I was like, what are you talking about? What's the point of this? But then I got into it, and then now knowing I can use my moments to actually like play a game, it's even better.
Right. Because it's not just like you buy it and then it sits there. It's like you buy it, you can watch it, but now I can use it for other things, and it's got other utility, kind of like challenges were back in the day when there were a lot more of those that you could use the moments to obtain other things as well.
And like with the popularity rising, like that Aces Liberty game we went was like packed, and like I'm expecting the Storm Liberty game to be pretty packed too. And I will give I know that there's different sides of the rivalry, but I'll give Angel Reese some credit as well. Because sports thrives on rivalries, right? And the animosity between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. That's what's like all helping drive the excitement. And another thing too is like I think like the way that Steph Curry sort of changed the game in terms of making the 3-point play like one of the most exciting plays. I think that helps too. And that's one of the reasons why I think Caitlin Clark is one of the more exciting players, because she can hit those logo threes and stuff that
she just pulls up from anywhere and
makes people go like, jaw drop, because most of us, we can't, or almost all of us, we can't shoot logo threes, right? So whether you're a guy,
I can only speak for myself, but I cannot shoot a logo.
Exactly. So it's like
I have to like one arm like run and like throw a cannon.
Get that momentum going.
It's like a shot put style attempt.
Exactly.
But that's, I think, one of the reasons why we like Sabrina Ionescu, because she's like a 3-point sharpshooter, right? Like she, went toe to toe with Steph Curry at the NBA All-Star game last year, and
so cool to see.
Held her own, right?
So
So I think that's one of the exciting things, and it's just like, it's kind of neat. Like, obviously I'm a big sports fan, almost exclusively men's sports, but it's kind of neat, like, with the Aces Liberty game, and I'm looking forward to the Seattle one, that if on the Jumbotron, the like promotional stuff, it's women, it's not men, and there's a different flavor, right? And so it's a little bit different, and it's exciting that it's different. And so that's why it's interesting and it's exciting. And we do watch some on TV, but being live, it's that different little level. And so we're looking forward to that, and hopefully we can make that our tradition. Every year we go to a Seattle Storm game. Of course, we would love to see like the Sonics come back, or the Grizzlies come back to Vancouver. Would be amazing too. But we say Portland Trailblazers is our closest NBA arena, but our closest professional basketball arena is Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle. So So
then I gotta ask then, because this episode, we're recording it before this game happens, so we can come back to this. Let's see if you're in agreement or not. Like, you're going to see Seattle Storm and the New York Liberty. Who's going to win that game? Like, who are y'all rooting for?
I think
I'm rooting for New York Liberty.
Oh, really? I was going to say Seattle Storm.
You go, girl.
I really like
Seattle Storm. Let's go.
Really, really love New York.
Yeah. So you like the Aces because you were like, our first home game we went to is the Aces.
You know what? I have no loyalty.
I think we're free agents. We're free agents.
I'll go wherever the wind blows me.
Yeah, we're WNBA fandom free agents. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like, I'm not that passionate about the Liberty that I'm gonna conform to the crowd. So since we're in Seattle, I'm just gonna cheer for Seattle.
And
if I bought you a Liberty jersey and sent it overnight, you're saying you wouldn't wear it to that game?
I would. Give me an Ionescu for sure. I would wear it. Why not? If I have a jersey, then yeah.
Okay.
But I am we're gonna check out the jerseys. I wouldn't mind seeing like if Sue Bird jerseys.
Oh, I'd get a Sue Bird
available
jersey.
Or a Nika Mule. So yeah, we have a little bit of regrets that we never went to go see when Sue Bird was still playing. But hopefully Nika's the future Sue Bird, and they have some really other really good players as well. So
it'll be an exciting game.
But I think if Sabrina's playing, I'm gonna have to say the Liberty will probably win because it seems like they're one of the juggernauts of the NBA. But they need expansion, and because there's so much talent. Like you hear routinely, like this first round pick just got cut, and it's like, what? Like the first round pick?
Round pick.
Crazy.
Yeah, they just got picked like 3 weeks ago. How did they get cut? Why'd you pick them if you're gonna cut them?
It's like, to us, it's just logic. Basic
but
logic.
It's just so much talent, and there's not enough roster spots. But actually, that just kind of sparked in my memory that the Toronto is going to be getting an expansion team.
Yeah.
So I think once Toronto, like Canadian team, shows up, that'll be our de facto a favorite team for sure. It would be amazing if Vancouver got one. I thought it would be
baby steps. You got to start with one Canadian team, and Canada, you can't stop at one. You're going to have another one.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So I think Toronto, we'd have to go for sure and watch a game there.
Absolutely.
Although she's never been to a Raptors game, so in Toronto. So that's something we have to do.
I've lived in Vancouver my entire life, and I've never been to Toronto or Montreal.
Wow.
Yeah.
pretty sad.
So we're gonna rectify that. I think this is the
I'm
year.
from Texas, and I've been to both of those places.
Oh,
Babe.
Just saying.
I know,
you
and
should do it.
I've even been to Dallas.
What? Let's go. I mean, at least you picked Dallas, so you're not horribly wrong. You
Oh,
picked
thanks.
one good one.
Yeah.
We were actually looking into coming to Dallas during the Western Conference Finals because there was a perfect weekend where one night was, Mavs and what was it again? Who won?
For Oklahoma City?
No, the Western Conference Finals. Who was it? It was Mavs and I can't remember. Was it OKC in the? Yeah. So, anyways, there was that, and then Oilers versus Stars the next night. So we're like, this is a perfect chance. But I think the tickets were just like too expensive.
We couldn't make the flights work.
Yeah, the flights were hard.
It was weird. Yeah.
So maybe we'll see you in Dallas if that history repeats itself.
Yeah, I mean, when it repeats itself, sure. Y'all should, and you should hit me up.
100% we will.
Yeah, I will definitely be at one, or if not both of those games as well.
Yay.
So, but I'm going to cheer for Dallas. I'm just letting you know, prepare yourself now. I'll
fine.
wear my Dallas jersey, you wear your Oiler jersey, and we can still be friends.
Well, I'm a big Luka fan, actually, because, again, back to my Dynasty. Yes, I can tell. Back to my Dynasty basketball stuff. I remember actually one summer league. Do you know Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer?
Yeah.
So we ran into him in the concourse, and I had first pick in my Dynasty league. And, Ayton went first that year. So, most people, maybe they'll just say, oh, I'll take Ayton first. But then I was pretty sure I was going to take Doncic. And then I asked Kevin O'Connor, who should I take? And he was like, take Doncic. So nice. I credit him for helping guide me that way. But so I've been a fan for Doncic because I've had him on my fantasy team since the beginning.
Not a horrible decision. So.
No, because Ayton is a dud, and he has been a dud.
Let's go. I love the passion.
Okay, he was gonna be number 1 draft pick, and then March Madness happened. His team gets kicked out the second round, maybe the first round. And even while he was playing, I was like, this guy's the number 1 draft pick. And then watching him not play in summer league, where's this kid's hustle?
Yeah.
See? And then apparently now only he's been in the league for how many years now? And only recently has he started showing potential. You should be playing in Europe.
Not even.
Yeah, I mean, but you're exactly right. That's the reason people go to summer league. That's why people watch the players, because the top rated, even the WNBA, your number 1 draft pick gets cut. What are you talking about? But it happens surprisingly a lot. Which that's got to be exciting though. Just thinking about both your personalities and both of you collecting. Has there ever been a moment that you both want to own and you're like, who gets it? Or have y'all been, or y'all's collecting or kind of being a part of what you might collect, buried?
I think, not necessarily maybe our own Top Shot debut, but I think the thing that we share with the collecting is around the time I got into Top Shot, Francis got into collecting Funko Pops.
Oh, nice.
They say collectible toys.
Yeah.
And she has a
look at that smile she's got. She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I love them.
Yeah. How did you get into that?
I don't even know how I got into it really. It was December 2019. And so in January 2020, they were releasing the Marvel show WandaVision.
Yeah.
And I saw some of the Funko Pops. Those are really cute. Maybe I'll collect those for the show. And then I went onto the Hot Topic website and I started seeing all these other Funko Pops. I'm like, oh, what's happening right now?
Yeah.
And I just started
stumbled into a whole new world.
Yeah. And then it just became an addiction. And now I have over 600 of them. And
jeez. Okay. I need to collect you with one of my good friends, because they literally have a whole wall dedicated that they did custom little squares so they can put in the whole entire wall. It's anytime I see one, I send it to them. They're like, got it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find something they don't own, and apparently it's nothing. They have everything.
And we're very lucky because the Funko factory is just in Everett, Washington, which is just outside of Seattle.
Sure.
So it's a 2-hour drive from us. So some Saturdays we'll just be like, let's just go down to the Funko store.
Yeah.
We hop on down,
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, get some Funkos, and come back home.
Get those Chick-fil-A points too. Let's go.
Exactly. And like it got to the point where he started getting really into it because I collect mostly Marvel movies and TV shows.
Sure.
But some other things as well. Then he started collecting some sport ones. So he has
because they make them of literally like everything.
Everything.
Like,
You're a fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we got to the point where for our wedding cake topper, instead of buying regular wedding cake topper, we got custom Funkos.
Oh my gosh, no way. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
That is so freaking cool.
It was very cool. So
oh my gosh. That is epic.
It was great.
Yeah, so that kind of that's the physical side. But yeah, I'm at the point now where like we need to make a plan and like, for example, we collect and we've never sold, but we got to like learn how to figure out how to sell. So that's, again, like kind of an advertisement for Top Shot, how easy it is to like buy and sell. But yeah, like we were collecting like the Space Jam ones, although I think the reviews were bad from like people our generation, but then when we talked to younger people, they actually liked it. So it's like maybe it's not so bad. But I was like, I just want to sell it, get rid of it. This movie was crap, whatever. So yeah, we still haven't done that. But yeah, we have like a bookshelf and we have some shelving like down our stairs here. And so my thing is like, let's get them organized, get them figured out so that we rotate it like each month. Like she has a bunch of like good ones that are good for Halloween and some for Christmas. So that when our friends come over, it's like, because we love the thrill of the hunt too. Like if there's a certain Funko that we don't have, we'll go to Everett and try to find it, or we'll go to a toy collector place and try to find it, and we just like that like, oh, we found it, so
and I know what you mean too, like having so many, because even my friends, they literally went through all their boxes. They have like containers that have them like
so do we.
and they literally went through and they like alphabetized and like numbered every single box. So now they open up a spiral notebook and they're like, this one with page 5, and they're like pages in, and I'm like, dude, at least you got to figure it out now. Like,
I love that.
Because they found they had like 3 of one that they didn't even care for that much.
Yeah, that happens to us
they
too.
bought 2 years ago, and so it's cool to find something you're passionate about. I'm so old. Like for me, it was called Cabbage Patch Dolls.
I had those too. I had a collection of that as well.
That was like the thing when I was a kid, and I was like, hey, Cabbage Patch Dolls. And we didn't have Funko Pops. We didn't have NBATOPSHOT. We didn't have all this stuff when I was a kid. It makes
and there's a really great
kind of like the hunt and the whole thing just so much more fun.
And that
as a couple, like on the hunt together,
Yeah, and that's one of the like things about Top Shot that maybe isn't as good, is like it's so easy and accessible. But with Funkos, it's like like you have to get lucky. Like for example, Francis is a big not to bring this up, I'll open some wounds here, but she's a big Harry Potter fan, and then they have like for the different houses, they have like a little Funko, like, and so this Slytherin one, we saw it at the Everett Funko, and I told her like, get it.
For months we saw it.
I was like, just get it, just you want it, get it. She's like, no, I'll forget about it.
I was like, no, I'll wait until they're all available and buy them all together.
And then she got the other 3, and then now we're missing the Slytherin one. So it's like, hopefully, every time we go to the Harry Potter section, we're like, is this Slytherin one there? We want to complete the set, like. So that's kind of good. It's like when you don't get it, then it makes it that much sweeter when you do find it, right? And we like that part of things, like. But yeah, I'd like to have it so that our friends come over. It'll be the same feeling we get when we go to the store and we're like, wow, they have this, they have that. We kind of want our friends to kind of experience that just by like coming over to our house type thing.
Yeah.
And there's actually like when we go down to Vegas for Summer League, there's actually a store in a mall, just a few like minutes of like north of the arena, and they have a store there called the Pop Shack. And this guy has everything because people can sell their collections.
Sure, yeah.
So they have so many Funko Pops. Like some I have, like every time we go there, I'll be like this year, for example, I was like, I don't think we're gonna get that many. Like maybe we'll buy 4 or 5. I feel like our collections are pretty completed. And then we go, we're like, oh no, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that.
Ooh,
so it's always a problem.
Yeah, I always end up spending way too much. Like even now, we're gonna go to Funko, when we go to Seattle, and we're like, we have everything we need. We have Infinity War in Endgame. We have all the ones we want, but sure enough, we'll find something that we don't.
I love as you're saying that, I can see her head start thinking about all these other ones that she wants to collect, and like
That's
she's
accurate.
like, sure, we have all of them until we go there, and then it's changing.
Yeah.
I just love it. Y'all are so awesome. It's funny because it's collecting, connecting. I feel like y'all are almost the epitome of collecting and connecting, husband and wife. You know what I mean?
We connected
Ooh!
first, but we connected first. Now we're collecting.
See,
Whereas I think your community started collecting, and then now they're connecting.
yeah. Well, so
So-
we didn't have you to look up to then. We didn't have a roadmap. We've been creating our own. And, you know, I'm excited for our next episode where we're going to break down relationship goals and how to make this work. So that way we can send them to our wives and husbands. And now we could generate imagine if we had like a Top Shot couples cruise
Amazing.
where it's like,
I would love
oh,
that.
you know, I'm just like couples. It's so cute. Like my wife has a collection. It's a smaller collection she adds if she thinks someone's cute. And you know,
Nothing wrong with that.
yeah, no, I think a lot of the guys, I think Luka's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's beautiful stallion.
Yeah.
He all he needs is
He's
an
no
NBA
Jaime
championship
Hawkins,
ring.
but he's handsome.
He just needs a ring. He needs to stop whining.
Yeah.
But then he needs
Yes.
a ring. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that is so awesome. I can't even believe. I feel like there's so many things to talk about. We're already coming up on an hour.
I know.
Is there anything before we kind of wrap up? I'll turn the floor over to y'all. Is there anything you want to kind of just shout out to WNBA?
I want to shout out my boy.
I saw a hat that you have
yeah.
there.
I want to shout out my boy NBL at Floaty. He was nice enough to hook me up with some merch. And, you know, if people don't already know, you can go to the Connectin and Collectin store and, you know, get the Floaty merch as well. And I've been really actually loving their bulk listing feature. And it's just like makes it way easier compared to, you know, Top Shot. You go one by one. I'm listing like 75 at a time because I have some from the new series, the base series, and I don't really want them. So I'm just trying to like get rid of them and kind of, you know, rejig things. So that's been like, you know, a game changer in terms of cleaning up my collection. So yeah, and we got the Top Shot shirt on, and Francis has this this year we represent. It was like a Slam Canada event.
Nice.
Yeah, shout out Austin Kent Slam Canada. Had an event in Vancouver, and we got this some merch there. So yeah, and of course, Top Shot, still loving it, still collecting, and I love the concept, and I'm collecting. We're talking about NHL. I've been collecting NHL Breakaway as well a bit, but but yeah, we do collect some sports cards and stuff, but I just love the convenience of the Top Shot and just the concept of the highlights and things. So,
and honestly, Top Shot has like really connected you to a lot of friends too.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, like a good friend of mine in Edmonton, you might know him, Spence. So I knew him growing up, but then Top Shot, like we became really tight. Although he's not as big of a fan these days, but yeah, like some other friends, as I was saying earlier, like Calgary, you know, Denver, LA, Boston, like, and it's like how else, or even Portland, like we've gone to Portland and there's like a huge crew, and Trevor from Floaty as well. You know, goes by I think James Dylan Bond. We've seen him every single time we go to Blazers games, and before that we would go. Before that we would go, and also another power couple there, wonderful wife, and he's got a new baby.
And the baby's so cute.
Yeah. Before we would go to Portland, it would just be me and her. But then, like, how else could we have like connected with local Portland Trailblazers fans? And you know, we've hung out with Alexo as well in Portland, and there's a lot of them, you know, and in Portland, they've got a great community there. So. And Brian, like the Top Shot VIP guy, is really nice and gracious and kind. And actually, they actually helped out to help connect us get some tickets for the WNBA game. And even when we went to New York, like we reached out to the VIP and they helped us with tickets there too.
Yeah, so they did,
they've been really gracious to connect us with, you know, in real life experiences. And every time we go to Summer League now, there's Top Shot people. I wasn't able to join the event this year because, we're very serious about our scouting and there were some players that we wanted to see, but
schedule clash.
But it's just cool that like you're connecting with these people that you wouldn't have been able to connect with otherwise. And I just hope I know, things have kind of settled a little bit from the peak, but I just hope that, things kind of grow into the future and we can continue like connecting with like-minded, sports fans.
Man, what a way to sum it up. That was beautiful. That was boom. That's right. Man, Frankie, Aziz, y'all are awesome. I'm so glad y'all came on today. The first power couple to be interviewed, the first kiss, inspiring people to go check out the WNBA, collect together, stay together. It's so awesome. So thank y'all so much for
having us. You're wonderful. Great to meet you.
Likewise, absolutely. And come down to Dallas sometime soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe I'll make a trip up there and we can all
come to Vancouver. It's honestly so beautiful up here.
Yeah, my wife would love to go up there. So maybe I'll start working on her then.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Y'all have a great rest of the day. Again, episode 65, Collectin and Connectin podcast. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Awesome.
Take
care, everybody.
Bye.
We had awesome hosts, awesome guests, good vibes. You know the deal. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching us. Like and subscribe on YouTube. And if you got a minute, check out our merch store at Shop Collectin and Connected. Thanks, everyone. See you next Tuesday.